magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast. What up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? It's going to be a fun one tonight. Let me tell you, Proto Man was running all around town today and got a whole bunch of cool stuff, and it's just in a very good mood. Let's put it this way. How we all doing? This is the Transformers Slag Podcast, Saturday night live stream main event. I'm your host, Proto Man. I'm the guy that you hear Monday to Friday. I'm the face, as Van Hope said here. I'm the face that runs this place. How we all doing? And we're going to be talking Transformers. We're going to be talking some Transformer news. My hair's a little bit of a mess because it was a nice sweaty day today. Proto Man went out and got a whole bunch of fun shopping done of a whole bunch of toy hunting and cool stuff. It's like the first decent week of weather here in Montreal, and that means toy hunting, seeing it. That means going out and finding some cool stuff. And yeah, so I'm going to show you some cool things, little things I got here and there. Not just Transformer related. Most of it actually is miscellaneous stuff, but we all have other hobbies too. It's all interconnected, you know? And yeah, we'll get into that. But we have a lot of news to cover stuff also. We'll take care of that. We'll take some super chats from the fans. We got some YouTube members also here. We got Mike Rosen. We got Michael Koo. What up, Michael Koo? Link CW Ibrahim. JR Mina. What's up, JR Mina? Got a slide just for you that I planned today. What else we got here? Retro Cabal is here too. What's up, Dave? Sheriff's here. Horned Owl. Do I have any Patreon people here today also? Let me see if I have any Patreon people. T-Formers 2002 from Patreon. A lot of cool peeps here today. So we're going to talk Transformers. We're going to take some super chats from the fans. We're going to look at some cool stuff that we picked up. It was a very busy 24 hours for the Proto Man, to say the least. So let's do it, shall we? So let's jump into it. We'll start from the beginning. There's been some updates to some of this news, but also I want to hear your 2 cents on it also, because we ended up with a lot of footage, a lot of different footage from Rise of the Beast. We've had different TV spots that have had updated footage. So, you know, the whole TV spot is stuff we've seen before, but then there's that like 1 second more of footage that, oh, now you could see Nightbird's face. You know, there's Mikey and Louie, more Patreon people too. Awesome stuff. So, you know, we got a whole bunch of footage. One of the big ones that I talked about in the individual segments this week was they posted like this chunk of the Maximals meeting the Autobots, this whole like situation with that. And for a moment, getting to see a lot of those characters really moving for the first time on screen, and not just a quick blip on the trailer and that's it. And hearing some of those characters' voices for the first time from their voice actors, and just getting the best way to explain it to understand the gravity of this movie in both character and just the way it's going to carry itself. Because we've gotten used to how the Michael Bay movies tell a story with robots. We've gotten used to how Travis Knight with the Bumblebee movie got used to how it tells a story with robots, or not really much thereof, because Bumblebee really was an island in a lot of ways in that story. And now we have this one here with Stephen Caple Jr., and it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool, man. It's going to be very, very cool from what I've seen. And I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot going on here. It's hard to make a full conclusion if a movie is going to be good or not. No one could do that. There's no way you could say if a movie is going to be good or not just from a 2-minute trailer or a 3-minute trailer. You know, there's a lot of things that could surprise you. I mean, it goes all the way back to stuff like, you know, Batman 1989. Which is something I always kind of bring up, where everyone thought that movie was destined to fail. Oh, Michael Keaton, you know, Mr. Mom, you know, Beetlejuice, comedian, is going to be Batman? That's not going to do well, you know? Wait, the director was the guy who did Beetlejuice? Oh, it's going to be a comedy. Ugh. And well, and I said it on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, Batman 1989, that movie is the most important movie of all time, in my opinion, when it comes to e-commerce, action figures, comic books, science fiction, and geek culture as a whole. That single movie was the first domino piece that changed everything. And the irony was everyone went into that movie thinking it was going to be the worst thing ever, you know? So the way I see it is we don't know how this is going to go. We don't know if this is something that's going to usher in a new era of peak Transformer interest that we saw, like, let's say, in 2008, 2009 with the movies. Is it something that it's going to bring more interest into, let's say, the Beast Wars brand? And we're going to see speculation on that. So it's a big one. It's a big one. What does Michael say here? Protoman, I hope Hasbro invites you to the Quebec premiere. I'm probably going to be at the early screening because the past few movies. So the first movie 2007, Revenge of the Fallen, and Dark of the Moon, Hasbro Canada sent me and Josdy early to those. We actually had early. I should show you the ticket. The tickets were amazing. They were like special screening tickets, and they were awesome. And they had a signature from Don Murphy on them, who's one of the executive producers. For the first three movies, we got that. For the fourth one, Hasbro Canada sent us, I think, a day early and this was Age of Extinction, a day early to the private, what did they call it? It's like the reviewers screening. So they sent us to that one and they gave us 20 tickets. I remember when I went to the ticket booth, I'm like, yeah, I'm here for Daniel, pick up some tickets from Hasbro that they left for me for the viewer screening, blah blah. And they're like, yeah, here's your tickets, sir. Gave me a stack of tickets for Age of Extinction, and me and Jaws D were like, oh damn. And so we had to like hand them out to people because we're just like, we weren't going to call our friends like 15 minutes before we're supposed to be in the theater, So we handed out a whole bunch of tickets to people, so a lot of people got to see the movie early, even though it wasn't planned. And the last night we just got a day early screening. Same story there. What's up, Aaron? We got a day early screening with that one. And Bumblebee movie, we got a day early screening with that one too. So it's probably going to be, the early screening that I'll see. And yeah, that'll be that. It's something that, if anything, I rather maybe see it around the same time that you guys do because I'll want to do a segment talking about it and I don't want to spoil and put too much out there, you know. But yeah, I'm excited. It looks really good. I mean, one thing, and I talked about this in the individual segment. I mean, look at the side by side. Look how much has changed. Here's the first trailer that we got in December 2022, and then look how much changed in terms of just post editing and everything leading up to it with this final trailer in May of 2023. It shows a lot. Composite and the cropping and everything like that, and how they pull out, and even the characters look a little thinner. Um, it shows a lot about how things change in production over time, and that's just barely 6 months, and how much has changed. So I'm very excited about it. Um, I just hope it turns out well. I just hope it's a good movie, just a good movie, more or less. We got a YouTube member question. I've actually answered this one before. Uh, I think in person with someone. Link CW question: what happened to Chip Chase? Did he die? So I was the liaison for the voice of Chip Chase, Michael Horton, his voice actor, at TFCon LA. What year was that? 2018, 2017, and sat with him for the whole weekend, talked with fans and stuff. And Chip Chase was actually supposed to be in season 3 of Generation 1. There actually is a animation model of him older. It's out there. I believe it was in the Transformers. What is that book called? The Complete Arc. What was it called there? That Bill Forrester and the crew put together at IDW at the time. So, you know, it's out there. So in theory, he did survive. It's just he kind of just got put into the background. But there actually is an animation model that proves that he was supposed to be in season 3. And who knows? He probably would have been behind the EXO suits. Like he probably would have been someone who would have put those together because now he can't walk and now he has an EXO suit. So he kind of has kind of like the War Machine situation and stuff like that. I would imagine that's probably what they were, they were going to go with. Probably the best person you should ask for that is maybe Flint Dille. He probably would explain because he had a lot to do with the definition of where a lot of those characters were going to be going. But yeah, I sat with the man who was the voice of it, and of course he didn't really he didn't really know. And no offense to Michael, I mean something he did like 30 years ago, so it is what it is. We got a super chat from Mayoral Fabrication for $5. Thank you, Mayoral. I made a lovely group of friends during TFCon LA, and we all have tickets to see the movie together and have fun. Who will you be going to see the movie? Jaws D for sure is going to be there. Um, I don't. I think one of my other buddies. I do. I once in a while I guest on another podcast. It's called Geektastic Sci-Fi. It's like an all black podcast, I guess is the best way to put it. It's an urban radio station podcast, but they do a lot of geek stuff. They talk about geek culture and everything, and I'll guest spot on it once in a while, even though this skin doesn't really match it. But and so Brian, like Brian, who's the head host of that radio station and stuff, he was with me for the 2007 movie. He was there day one. He was sitting next to me with Jaws D and stuff. Like that was a crazy. That was the first time. Like when we saw the first movie in 2007, that was pretty crazy. So he might be there too. If the wife wants to come with, she came with for Bumblebee. She wasn't there for. She was there for 2007. She was there for the Revenge of the Fallen one. She didn't come for Dark of the Moon because that was a day where I think the tickets were during the day and I took the day off, but she couldn't get off work. She came for the Bumblebee one though, because that was an early screening that was in the evening on a Monday, I believe. I don't remember. It's all these blur together. So she might come too, depends. Really depends on our schedule. But we'll see. We will see. I always take the day off for Transformers. I don't care. My boss just knows it's like, is it a convention or is it some kind of robot related stuff? They know. They know what's up. They know what's up. And speaking of exosuits, how about this, eh? How about this? This thing too. So we got an exosuit. Oh, by the way, and thank you for the super chat. And I hope you have an awesome time. I'm happy to hear when people go to conventions and they meet people and they make friends there. I mean, I'm reminded of like the first time I went to BotCon back in 2001 and making friends with lifelong friends with guys like Hydra and Matt and um I don't know if they wants me to use his real name, but Aeronoth. Um, there's a whole bunch of dudes that like it's just, you met them many years ago. I mean, geez, 2001. Gosh, I was like probably just turning 20. I was probably 19, 20 around that time. And you make these friends and I'm near 40 now and still talk to those guys still to this very day, and whenever I see them at cons we still kick back and catch up. And people grow up, they get married, they have family, they have kids, they have all kinds of stuff, and it's just great to catch up with those people. And you get that from conventions, because that's the one thing I've always said. A lot of people they go like, oh, what's the benefit of going to a TF con or something? What's the number one benefit? And I say this every time. One thing for sure, that every single person in this room likes the exact same thing you do. Now they might like it to different levels, they might have different reasons like that why they like it, but you do know one thing. They all like the same thing you do, and that's a very good icebreaker in a lot of ways. And happy to hear that, Mariero. That's really cool. So getting back to the exosuit here. I mean, it looks like an exosuit could be a pretender shell, could be a lot of different things. I kind of look at it like it seems like a little bit of an evolution of what they did in Earthspark. They gave that gauntlet kind of Cybertronian gauntlet thing to the human characters in Earthspark, and there's kind of an evolution of that mixed with how do we get like an exosuit so the humans could be involved in the show. So you get a little bit of that like nanotech Iron Man armor kind of thing, because it's like the way I see it, and this isn't confirmed, but the way I see it, it's like it attaches to his hand, then it covers the rest of his body later on and just transforms and gives him like an exosuit armor. So the human characters could get engaged too. And you can see he has two little guns there. So, hey, human characters that aren't just standing around and getting in the way or being absolutely useless, fantastic. That was what made Master Force, Super God Master Force and Transformers, one of my favorite Transformer series of all time, is it solved the age-old question, what do you do with these humans? You know, like I don't care how much you like Spike and Sparkplug and all of them, they were just, they were just fodder for Rumble or whoever to beat them up and stuff, if anything. And then for them to throw, metal sticks and baseball bats for Starscream and just go, "Get away, pesky human." So like it's nice to see that. And when EXO Suits started to become a thing with the 86 movie, there was a little bit of like, hey, they could kind of fight back, they could ram into them. You saw that with Daniel in the 86 movie. Let me get some water here. It's a long day. Mm, long day today. But and then that evolution kind of continues with Headmasters also had the exosuits and that, and then when you get to Master Force, they're like, now we have the master power, God masters, target masters, breast masters, brain masters, and that master power first kind of starts, and of course it's called Power Masters here in the West, but it first started with Master Force, and now all these human characters are getting engaged and involved, and that was super fun. That was like really fun. And hopefully we have that here too. It's something where I have no problem. I have no problem in humans being involved in Transformer stories if they actually contribute to the action and the set pieces. If they are just going to be there to be the filling, to hold to just kind of like be the cream in between a cake. And some people like the cream on the cake, but a lot of people prefer the brownie instead. And it's just filler, but it's a lot of fat, that filler. It's just, to me, I rather have the robots, but if the humans have to be there, I just want them to do something. And it's sad because there's too many times. I mean, even something like Beast Wars, you could argue with something like Beast Wars, like even the proto humans, the caveman people. Yeah, they contributed a little bit. Oh, they like there's always that they always give any of these characters that one moment, but at the end of the day, they're there more to just be hostages or some kind of bargaining chip or anything like that. It happens more often than not. Um, some of the some of the worst episodes of Beast Wars, and that's saying something because Beast Wars doesn't have a worst episode, but some of the lesser episodes were stuff like crossing the Rubicon with the proto humans and stuff like that, with Black Arachnia and a puberty bound TM2 Cheetor. So I hope it's good. I dig it. I think it looks great. And I just hope it all turns out well. And again, let me know what you think. Are you excited about this movie? Or am I just alone? Am I just alone in all of this? Am I just the one sitting around and just going, at least I like it, right? We also have bio cards. Now, these ones here, I kind of say like go into these lightly because I was reading a lot of these bio cards, and Michael Koo also was messaging me about them, and there's a lot of spoilers on them. There's a lot of spoilery kind of stuff on it. Stratosphere being one of the more lighter ones, so I kind of focus on him, and you kind of get a nice shot of Stratosphere also. So, but it's something where there's a lot of bio cards here. There's Optimus Primal, Cheetor, Airazor, Rhinox, Scourge, Unicron's on there too. Battletrap, Nightbird, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Mirage, RC, Wheeljack, Stratosphere that you're looking at here. Noah and Elena, the two human characters. And they're a little spoilery, so if you do read these bio cards, they're online right now. Proceed with caution, let's put it that way. At least Stratosphere is a little more light on it. So, but some of the others, they're a little more, talking a little about more than people should know. You want to not have too many spoilers, especially when you read between the lines of some of them too, when you know what you know. Uh, Space Ghostal, aka Michael, with the super chat for $5. How you doing, Space Ghostal? I have a friend who says he's not going to Rise of the Beast because it is not consistent with the Bay films. I pointed to him your vids to try to explain. Well, I mean, let's put it this way. If you're someone that's not watching the Transformer movie just because it doesn't connect to the other ones, I mean, I get it. You want to have continuity, what you invested in the past 6 movies, let's say, since 2007. You wanna feel that that journey continues, but I don't know what information they got, and I don't wanna say too much, but just go see the movie. I'm pretty sure you'll be fine. And when they rebooted Spider-Man, for Avengers for the third time, not second time yet, Andrew Garfield in between that, the third time. I'm pretty sure no one was complaining. There was a lot more celebrating. When they rebooted Batman for the second time and the third time, when they rebooted Hulk for the second time, technically, from the Ang Lee movie from the other one there. Um, you know, it's just par for the course when it comes to a lot of these big sci-fi brands and stuff is after enough time progresses, you kind of have to, hit the reboot button. Star Wars is a unique example because it was, yeah, you could argue, oh, expanded universe, all these comic books, all these novels and stuff and everything like that. But really, at the end of the day, a lot of Star Wars is really just focusing on those core movies. And so they could focus on a continuity that's been around since the 70s. But something like, look, this is a sad reality and it might make some people feel old. But in 2027, which isn't very far away, it's 4 years away from now, the Michael Bay movies will be 20 years old. Think about that for a second. In just a few years from now, the Michael Bay movies are going to be 20 years old. 20 years old. So to have to stay loyal and true to a string of movies that started almost 20 years ago, it's okay to sometimes want to refresh things. A new fresh eyeballs. Like look, kids who were 5 years old that saw that Michael Bay movie, that very first one, are now going to be, near 25 years old in a couple of years. And then you get a new generation of fans that are going to be those 5-year-olds. And sometimes, yeah, okay, maybe they don't have Paramount Plus. Maybe they can't get easy access to watching. We don't live in a world today where DVDs are celebrated and important. We don't live in a world where, rental places are common. Yeah, they could watch clips online. Yeah, some 5-year-old, if they have the tech savvy, could maybe find a way to watch it online dubiously. But sometimes those opportunities aren't that easily at their fingertips. And as a result of that, especially when you live in a world where Hasbro and Paramount really want to monetize those movies as much as possible, and as a result, put it through those certain funnels, they're going to go look at something else. And if you don't give them new Transformer stuff that they could identify with because it's fresh and a opening gateway to them, like an Armada all those years ago that kind of restarted Transformers prior to that, because you kind of look at it, it's like, yeah, generation 1, 84 to, let's say, 93. 92 was a quiet year, but definitely 93 before G2 started. G2 was just continuing what G1 started, so nothing was really learned. It was just more generation 1. And after 10 years of that, because let's say 84 to, let's say, 95, so let's say 11 years. So after 11 years of that, Hasbro's like, you know what? Let's kind of reset everything. And while Beast Wars is a continuation of the G1 continuity, it also is kind of a soft reboot in that you don't really need to know too much about the past stuff. So Beast Wars was a soft reboot. And then after they kind of gave that a couple of years, and more specifically like 5, maybe 6 if you want to count into 2001 a little bit with car robots, but then they hit that reboot button again with the Unicron trilogy. And then after the Unicron trilogy, 2001 to 2006, again, another 4 or 5 years, they hit that reboot button again. You have to constantly refresh the audience. And Aaron's in the chat somewhere. He's probably shaking his head going, "Yeah, that's the name of the game, yo. It really is." And it's tough. I understand it's tough for some individuals. They want to continue that continuity. But when you have something and a brand and an IP like Transformers that is just absolutely massive, like no joke, how many episodes of Transformers are there? Probably up to 1,000 at this point. No joke, because I know during Energon they were celebrating their like 500th episode of Transformers. We're definitely up to 1,000 now at this point, so easily 1,000 episodes, up to 10 movies now, counting like obviously the '86 movie, the Beast Wars second animated movie. So You have like 10 movies, so 10 movies, over 1,000 episodes, easily over 1,000 comic books. Just the UK comic books is what, 260? Just the G1 books is 80. Just the G2 books is 13. The IDW books, you can't even count it on, every hand in the world. So all of those comic books, all of that media, web media, online stuff, it's so massive of a brand, and it's just like the Marvel universe. How can you just say we're going to just keep with this continuity forever? Yeah, we're just going to stick with those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and we're never going to break continuity. We're just going to keep moving forward. So it is what it is. But I just wanted to kind of like, cover that too. We got other stuff. We got other stuff also. We have some toy stuff that's Rise of the Beast related. So we got to see for the first time, for the very first time, and this is labeled as, this was at the Tokyo Toy Show. This was labeled as Transformers Generations Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series Voyager Class Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. What a long name! But that's what this is labeled as. This is your Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime that's going to be released through the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a vanilla version of it that's going to be through normal Studio Series and not just Buzzworthy Bumblebee. That's a Target exclusive, or alternatively, if you're in Canada, yeah, sometimes Toys R Us, sometimes GameStop. Really depends how they distribute it from time to time, how those agreements work. But so we got our first look at it. Tokyo Toy Show looked pretty good. Looks pretty good. I probably should have took also a photo of his cannon. That stand down scene from the trailer where he's pointing his cannon at Optimus Primal. It has like all the fine detail of that cannon. It is available here. It's a flip out cannon. This is a brand new tooling. It is not the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, just repainted it or even like you know partialed. This is a completely brand new tool. So pretty cool. We don't have many other photos outside of this, sadly, maybe a few different angles here and there. And yeah, looks pretty good. Michael Koo says here with the YouTube member question, change is consistent. We're lucky that Peter Cullen gets to continue as Optimus Prime. And you know what, guys? One day that won't be the case. You know what I mean? And as much as I would hate to say it and, not have Peter anymore, Peter's 82 years old, I think. I think he's 82 now. You know, there will be a time where Peter's not going to be around. And it's kind of the same way that, hey, if you were a kid in the 60s, you had Adam West Batman, and then from Adam West Batman, you went to Adam West doing some of the voices for the animates. There was also, I think his name was Oslo or Osla. There was another guy who also voiced Batman for some of the Superpowers and Super Friends cartoons. But there was times where Adam West was also lending his voice to the Batman cartoons. And it was Adam West. It was Adam West in the 60s. It was Adam West in the 70s. They would do commercials in the late 70s with Adam West as Batman. They would do all kinds of stuff with Adam West. And then in 1993, there was that Batman the Animated Series, and Kevin Conroy stepped into that role. And I mean, I wonder how many people were saying it should have been Adam West. Probably not a lot, but change is good. Change is good. Change is good. Things change. And when you're talking a brand, Transformers next year is going to be a 40-year-old brand. 40 years old. Things got to change in 40 years. You can't always be the same. And in all honesty, if you don't change, I feel you lose people. People get bored after a while. People move on. You can't have the same old tired song. And to quote the great Dusty Rhodes, you can't miss me if I'm gone. You can't miss me if I'm not gone. And sometimes you got to change things. Take away the G1. Take away the G1 designs. Take away the G1 stuff. Take it away for 5 years. And then give them other stuff. And then trust me, after 5 years of it being gone, people are going to be hungry again. But at least it'll be gone for 5 years and creativity could bubble to the surface. People could bubble to the surface with all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it looks good. Again, buzzworthy Bumblebee one we're looking at here. Might be a different deco or plastic layout in the future, but we will see. We will see. We also got this one here. We talked about this, the minor Megatron. So the information that I got on this one, this comes from JT Prime 17, who's a retailer distributor, and that's why he gets all of this info here. This minor Megatron or this Megatron Origin Megatron is going to be part of a two-pack that is going to be a shared exclusive with San Diego Comic-Con and Amazon. So if you can't get it through San Diego Comic-Con through their e-commerce system, there's Amazon. And it'll be a two-pack. Who is that other person with him? We don't know. We don't know. I was hoping my this is totally speculation, totally speculation. Don't take this as fact. Don't put this in the news websites. But I would love it if part of this two pack we took one of the Junkions and partial tooled it into Psykill. So that way that axe pick could go right through Psykill's chest and you could have that cover of Origin Megatron being reenacted there and stuff like that. I would like it if it was like a cycle because some people are like, oh, it's got to be an Orion Pax. We already got an Orion Pax through the other e-commerce two pack with the War Dawn ones and stuff like that. So, well, the War Dawn ones would Dion and Ariel, but before that with Alita with Alpha Trion. I would like it if it was something cool like that. If it was use that Psykill trademark, make a Psykill. That'd be so cool. I think people would dig it. I mean, people are gonna buy it already just for the minor Megatron. You put a GoBot in there, well, damn, that's gonna be hot. And considering how Psykill already got a little bit of Disney action, he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. You know, I'm pretty sure people would love that. There's even a little bit of mainstream in that. You put a little Psykill in that, Drax Drax being angry. I think people will dig it. And because it's using the Junkion molds, you could have that element where he comes apart. So there's that death element to it. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. This isn't fact. It's just that's one way I could probably see going around it. That'd be pretty cool. People would dig that. At least I think people, I don't know, super chat it if you think so, but I think people would dig that a lot. But yeah, this guy looks really good. Amazingly, they didn't use that Siege Megatron head from the John Warden era. I firmly believe this isn't confirmed, but I firmly believe, I'm pretty sure like Mark or Evan, they probably looked at that Siege Megatron that was from John Warden's era of design and went, you know what? We'll make a new head. We'll make a new head. We'll make it in the same way that Mark and Evan, they look at that Soundwave, the Netflix Soundwave, and even I think it was Evan that said it. Evan's like, I want to make a new Soundwave that scales better because he's actually not satisfied with the Netflix one. So that's great news for people who want to get a Netflix Soundwave. We'll probably get a better one later that scales better with Blaster, which is from the Blaster is from that Evan and Mark era of design. So I think that that's kind of why also the head sculpt here, while everyone thought it was a shoe in, oh, it's using the Siege Megatron mold, so they're going to use that Generation Select Siege Megatron mold head from the Combat Hero. But nope, they're going to they did something new and it looks great. And as a big fan of that book, the Alex Milne drawn, um, Megatron Origin book, like, super excited. I'm pretty sure Alex is hyped about it too. That'll be a cool item that people probably want to get him to sign because that was one of his first major gigs with Transformers. So pretty cool. And we got more stuff too. We talked about it this week. Some listings here. We had two listings here with their product codes, the Dying Prowl and the G2 Wild Rider. And when we were looking at the Dying Prowl listing, we saw that there was a correlation that it has the same product code with the Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series 86 two-pack. So there is a strong possibility that we will be seeing this Dying Prowl in a two-pack. The belief is they probably, I want to believe that they probably took the Amazon one. They're going to give it a more anime accurate color scheme because it's in a two pack and the price point is a little larger. You're not talking just a deluxe class limited budget of that price point. Now it's a two pack. It's a Buzzworthy Bumblebee exclusive. It's a Target exclusive. They'll put like an interchangeable Prowl head that has the flaming head on it. That's a two pack. Maybe it'll be with a Brawn. We do know we're getting a Brawn in the future through Studio Series. So we might get a Brawn figure that's also like maybe with a shot in the shoulder, kind of accessory. And then we will complete the shuttle attack scene from the 86 movie. And that'll be pretty cool. And again, we're going to be getting a Brawn at some point through Studio Series. We might even see it. Actually, it'll be a part of the segment today we're going to talk about, but we might even see it in the next couple of weeks. So, and then it'll be like an anime accurate one or something. We'll see. We'll see. But for people who didn't get an opportunity to pick up Prowl before, Amazon exclusive was part of that 2-pack with Ironhide. Goes for stupid money now, but maybe not anymore. you know, maybe not anymore. Maybe when those opportunities create themselves for people, they'll get an opportunity to pick it up on the cheap and potentially even better. You know, a lot of people feel that the Studio Series 86 Ironhide is better in every way than that Earthrise one that people were paying 80, 90, $100 for a deluxe. Imagine. Patience, my friends. That's always how it works out. And now we got some Earthspark stuff too. We talked about this just recently. This showed up. This was in Denmark. Showed up totally out of nowhere. We didn't even know these existed. Uh, Transformers Earthspark kind of has had a rocky retail lifespan thus far. The toys debuted. It had a huge push. It had island displays, end cap displays, all kinds of big push. And then literally 1 week after that, was relegated to back to the normal SKU on the display. And then I was talking to one of my buddies. I have two buddies. I have one that works as a toy manager at Walmart and another that works as a toy manager at Toys R Us. Shout out to Victor, Toys R Us. Um, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, not selling well at all. It's really rough. He compared it to people might know what I'm talking about. They did some dolls for a Korean pop group called BTS, and those dolls sold so bad that they had to like liquidate them and send them to like liquidation stores like Ollie's and Five Below. Those dolls were original MSRP of $21.99, and then they started liquidating them at $4.99. It was really bad. Like it was like 2 weeks passed, not a single doll sold. And he was comparing it to that, where a lot of the Earthspark product, there were some people that are interested in some of the deluxes, but a majority of the product, the Warrior class, the Tacticons, the Flip Changers, the big price points, no one was touching any of that stuff. And there was this weird, like, then what's going to be happening with the future of Earthspark if the toy line's not selling well? Because the toy line kind of also helps push forward the success of a TV series. And well, these showed up out of nowhere. A potential wave two of the Tacticons, which by the way were a price point that weren't selling well, and it's the first ever toys of hashtag and RC. So good news because that means there's more Earthspark product. Bad news because it's a price point that most of us don't care about and is probably not the best version these characters could potentially have. Give them at least a warrior class. I mean, you gave Alita 1 a warrior class. At least give RC and hashtag a warrior class. Maybe you're scared. You don't want to do deluxes. That's fine. RC also didn't sell well in Cyberverse. I was seeing those were going on clearance at one point. The RC from Cyberverse. It's a reality of the toy market. You could pretend it doesn't exist. That's fine. But there is a reality that certain characters and certain toys just don't sell well. I will always buy an RC figure, but the general toy buying public will not buy an RC figure. You make an RC figure a deluxe class, which it made my top 5 Transformers of 2022. That's how much I love that. I think it was 2022 or 2021, but I love that figure so much. But the toy buying world, moms, kids, fathers, and collectors that might be more casual Transformer fans, they don't want that stuff. They want Optimus Primes. They want this. They want that. They want more cool robots. And sometimes girl characters don't sell well. So, what a surprise, the lowest price point, the Tacticon, the safest price point to put the 2 female characters, they put it there. Is it what I would want? No. But what I want doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the right idea for business. There's always what I want, and then there's what makes sense for business. You always have to be able to separate those two things. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It always will be a shame. Alden Tolber with the super chat for $2. What's your favorite Shockwave alt mode? Shockwave is my favorite Decepticon character of all time. He's not my favorite Transformer baddie of all time. That will always be Beast Wars Megatron. But Shockwave is my favorite Decepticon character of all time, and I will never deny the awesomeness that is that original laser gun mode. I love it. I love it. I think it's super cool. Shockwave was one of those characters that his original 1985 toy, is only a slight downgrade from his masterpiece. That's how good a toy he had back then. That's how close it was to the end. Like, you put G1 Shockwave 1985 next to Masterpiece Shockwave, and it's like, wow, they didn't really have to reinvent the wheel too much. Obviously, they put a little more electronics and engineering, but I'll have to go with that laser gun. I liked Transformers Prime Shockwave. That was David Sobolov who voiced him, I believe. I liked him too. He always has like that tank mode. That kind. When was the first time we really saw it? We saw kind of like he had a tank slash satellite mode with Energon Superlink when he was Laser Wave or Shock Blast, whatever what the trademark was at the time. I think it was Shock Blast for America and Laser Wave for Japan. That was cool too. That one, when you mess with that one, you realize just how big toys were back then. He was supposed to be the equivalency of a Voyager, and he's like bigger than most leader classes. So, but yeah, I like that one too. There are a lot of good ones. There's a lot of great Shockwave figures. I'm just kind of turning my head. I mean, it'd be silly for the car guy and me not to say, hey, remember when Shockwave turned into a purple RX8 in alternators? I mean, I love that one too. I mean, it doesn't make sense for him, but sure, why not? You know, I dig it. I dig it. Thank you for the super chat, Alden. Thank you, thank you. Any Shockwave talk is always welcome. Um, but getting back to, again, Earthspark is just it's having a rough time right now in retail. It's having a rough time in retail, and I don't know what it's going to mean for the future of the line. And I always say it's not about how we're experiencing in the moment, it's how it's going to age over time. And it's something where, when Action Masters was selling absolutely poorly for Transformers all those years ago, it took, like, no joke, 30 years for us to care about Action Masters again. You know what I mean? Like, it took 30 years for us to go, hey, when are we going to get, like, Mainframe? When are we going to get Rollout? When are we going to get, like some of these Action Master characters? When are we going to get, Bonsaitron? So it took 30 years to get some of those characters during one of the low points of Transformers. And Earthspark, in my opinion, from a business standpoint, is kind of a low point. So it's something where if the era of hashtag doesn't sell well, who knows when we might see that character again. But that's a whole other discussion with that we will see in the future in terms of how well that does. But right now, we got these two. It's about as good as it's going to get. Cadillac, 1950s muscle car Cadillac RC, finger puppet, and the ghost surveillance vehicle finger puppet in hashtag the Terran. We will see. Let me know what you think. And the last thing we're going to talk about is some important dates. Write these down on your calendar. Very important dates. In 3 days, we're going to have on May 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do I have the right time here? Jeez. Where's my phone? Yeah, in 3 days. Just want to make sure, because sometimes I forget what day it is. Everything goes together. May 16th, 11 a.m., we're going to have a Hasbro Pulse fan stream. They said that they're going to talk about RoboSen, so probably that Optimus and the Grimlock we saw. But there is talks that we might also see some Studio Series stuff and some stuff from Beyond the Space Bridge. So pretty hype. And then a couple days after that, some big pre-orders are going to drop. So I think that during the live stream, they're going to show off a whole bunch of items. And then they're going to say, hey, on May 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, obviously, again, we're going to hit that 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-order drops like we always see. Will be a whole bunch of new stuff. Maybe, again, we saw Studio Series Brawn. We saw what else was on that list? There was a whole bunch of stuff I talked about in the individual segments, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to make any promises of what's going to be shown. All we know is RoboSen for now. But again, May 16th at 11 a.m. Stay tuned for that. We'll definitely cover it extensively here on the podcast. So if you do miss it, we'll break it down for you and make sense of what's written in between the lines on that one. For sure, for sure. And that's it more or less for the news. Now you get to see this again. I apologize. But let's get into some sponsorship, and then we're going to talk about what we got this week, and then we'll take some super chats from the fans. So get those super chats in while we talk about Symbiote Studios wearing Catnip Bravo today, eating from Symbiote Studios, one of the Catnip Bravo shirts. But you can get Catnip Bravo Optimus Prime or any of the Transformer shirts. They are working on some brand new plush. And I just talked with TFCon, the headman himself that deals with the third party and the display cases at TFCon, Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. And we're going to work out a little display for some brand new Symbiote Studios plushes. The prototypes will be on display at TFCon Toronto in July. So if you come to TFCon Toronto in July, the brand new 2023 lineups of stuff, let me just pull up that, will be on display, the prototypes. But chances are we'll probably spoil them here first here. But you will be able to see the prototypes on display. You'll have those there. At least 3 of them I'm hoping for will have on display there with a whole bunch of stuff. So Symbiote Studios will have a nice little display for you guys. Check that out. It'll be hype. It'll be hype. But if you have not picked up any Symbiote Studios Transformer plush, it's the official 100% licensed by Hasbro Transformer plush line. Check it out. Again, symbiotestudios.com. Say Proto Man sent you, because he always sends you, and because I help work with them. So, and of course, all their other Hasbro stuff, the pins, the plush, the t-shirts, My Little Pony, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Magic the Gathering, the works, plush, pins, t-shirts, wearing the Optimus today. Awesome metal pins, not just little, acrylic ones. These are the real deal. Good stuff. Again, symbiotestudios.com. Check them out, yo. Get yourself a shirt. And also, and seats. Again, rocking my and seat like I always do. And seats, official Transformer gaming chairs. And there's more to come of those. Not much I could really say right now, unfortunately, because it's all NDA. But we'll see what happens with that. But if you want to get one, promo code ProtoMan at checkout, 15% off your first order of an Anda seat, Transformer seat, or any of their other seats. If you like it, check it out. Anda seats. And the Toy Armada. Anyone who watched yesterday, Aaron did a Friday Night Live segment. Talked a little bit about everything. The one cool thing about it was he had a whole bunch of unique images from the development of Transformers Armada. That famous image of like the pitch image of the punching of the sweat and everything from Draxhall Jump and stuff. So a lot of cool images. There was one from, I think it was Yuki-san, with the development of Smokescreen and how that was changed from the final product. I always like that Smokescreen figure. I know Aaron's not a fan of Smokescreen, but I always like that Smokescreen figure. So check out his segment, really good one too, his live action. After you're done listening to me, you could go check him out and you get I think it's like a good hour and 20 minutes of talking Transformers. There's some Batman stuff in there. He talks about Harley Quinn and some teasers of future Toy Armada segments. I won't say it here. Go check it out. He'll let you know. But if you also want more Aaron, guys, this book is almost sold out. It's almost retired. And then we're moving into volume 2. So if you have not picked up Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 1, Black and White Edition from Aaron Archer, go get it. archermonster.com/shop. Come TFCon Toronto. Coming up at TFCon Toronto will be the debut of Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 2. And it's going to be color due to popular demand. It will be making its debut, but Volume 1 will be out of print and retired. Go check it out. Get it while you can. There's limited stock left. $20, and you get an awesome art book of original Transformer art from the man who created those characters. As well, for an extra $15, he will sketch whatever you want on the inside, personalized pour vous for you. So, awesomeness. Ibrahim wants to know with the $2 super chat, Proto Man, how do you think a deluxe Power Glide would scale? I think it would probably work very well. I know that when he's in alt mode, he's always big, and some of the past Power Glide toys we got ranged from a Scout class to a absolutely massive Ultra class back in the day. I would think a deluxe would work best. I hope he has the heart gimmick. I hope that he has something where he could open his chest and the heart is there, nice and sculpted in there. And then, third party people can make a little, Historia figure, and you could have the girl who loved Power Glide. I think it would work out very easily. And considering that, like I said, at some point we're going to see at some point the aerial bots as a combiner team. And that those, at least the limbs, are going to be deluxes if Menasor is any indication of the future. So we're going to have more jets as deluxes. So having Power Glide as a deluxe is not too out of the question if we're going to have like Air Raid and Fireflight and the crew being a whole bunch of deluxes also. So I could see it, but just make sure he has that heart in the chest. If you don't have the heart in the chest, that's a missed opportunity. Have that little sculpting detail. That'd be really cool. Like just like have a little panel, just have that little thing there. Much like when they did, I think what scale was that? I'm turning my head here. I think it was the scout class. They did a scout class of sea spray, and on the inside of his like wrist detail, written in Cybertronian, it said Alana, which was his girlfriend in that episode. I think it was what was it called? Oh my god, what was the name of that episode? I think it was Sea Change. I think it was Sea Change or something like that. Um, it had Alana was written inside there. So that kind of fine detail, that little character development or telling a story with plastic without having to tell the story. That's always cool. That's always cool. So I hope again I hope Power Glide gets it. Look, all our mini bots are now upgraded to deluxe class, so it's just a matter of time. And I think, like I said, our next one's probably Brawn in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. And that's it more or less. That's it more or less for the news and the sponsorship. So let's get into what we got. We'll wait for the super chats to come in too. So did a lot of toy hunting today, and my local comic book store that I absolutely love to death. No joke. I know everyone thinks their comic book store is the greatest comic book store in the world, but I think mine is. Comic Hunter, Mark the Comic Hunter, shout out to Mark. Uh, he's easily the greatest comic book store of all time. His comic book store is they took a giant warehouse and they rented out the entire basement. So the entire warehouse, the entire like length of that warehouse, the entire basement is all his. And he has just the world's largest crazy comic book store. But what I love about his store is he also buys products. So he buys comic book collections, but he also buys toys. So a lot of times people come to him and they come to him with action figures. And like he'll be like, "Hey, I bought someone's Muppets toy collection from Palisade or whatever what that company was back in the day. I bought someone's Spawn collection." So every time I go to his store, there's always new stuff. Always old vintage 80s and 90s toys. Oh, I bought someone's Playmates, Simpsons toy collection. I bought this, I bought that. So there's always crazy stuff at his store. And what's cool about him is if you're like a VIP member, he does this little thing where when it's your birthday, if you come in the month of your birthday, if you come in, you get 10% off everything in the store, and you get a free little present based on whatever you normally buy. My birthday's coming up. It's at the end of the month, May 27th, for people that are wondering. I think it's going to be on a Saturday. I think maybe the live stream will be on my birthday. Um, but so I didn't know if I was going to be free the other two Saturdays. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go down to a store, pick up some stuff, and get that birthday gift and everything. So I picked up a bunch of things, some books. Again, it's all a bunch of random stuff here and there. Um, we'll get the Transformer kind of related one out of the way. He got a huge GoBot collection that he bought from someone. Had a lot of Unicron trilogy too. He had Primus. He had a whole bunch. But the only thing that I was kind of missing was yet again another GoBot gun of the gun collections, the Acro guns and stuff. So picked up this bad boy right here in pretty good condition. The problem with these guys is a lot of times the caps were left in, and then the gunpowder would destroy. So you could see one of the, I guess you could call it one of the barrels, if you will, got a little messed up. Because when you leave the gunpowder in, it rots away the metal there. And I don't know what kind of metal they used for the caps. Not for the caps, for the cap gun shots. But love this guy, really cool. Again, remember when Transformers could turn into guns? Well, not Transformers, it's a GoBot technically. But you just kind of just close that. Very simple transformation, put his arms back. And then you got a little, oh, and then you got to pull the trigger down, and a little cap gun robot. I think I have Rogun. I think his name's Rogun. I have Rogun for sale at my parts parties. I would bring him sometimes, but people are like, "Oh, what's that big robot?" So got him. Really happy about that. Very cheap, $10 Canadian, which is like, geez, like what is? Oh, yeah, it's true. I forgot the barrel goes out like that. Which $10 Canadian. So what is that? That's like like $7 American for a beautiful little dude. Let's look at so he someone brought in a huge collection of McDonald's toys, sealed McDonald's toys. Someone who was like a McDonald's toy collector brought in a whole bunch of stuff. Most of that stuff I have from my childhood. I buy, like, nostalgic purchases, but I picked up he had a bagged, sealed Bionicles, Tacadox. So I was like, "Okay, I'm not leaving without this." $1 Canadian, because when he bought that huge collection, he probably paid nothing for it. I ripped off the sticker, so I should have showed you guys. But yeah, $1 Canadian for a sealed one. That's really cool. I wish they had the Tahoe or, like, some of the others, but man, that's cool. And then this one, this is just nostalgia. You can't really see it very well. It's the Spider-Man one, Spider-Man the animated series. I have this loose, but here, let me try to. Eh. These were when McDonald's toys were just as good as retail toys in a lot of ways. You could barely see him, but anyone remembers that Spider-Man? It was an action figure. They had a Doc Ock. They had a Mary Jane with interchangeable clothing. So got this one too. I have it loose, complete. I wanted to have a sealed one just because nostalgia. Loved these as a kid. This was like, man, like 93, 94, 95, like that era. McDonald's was making action figures. Like the Batman animated series ones were action figures. They had Catwoman, Batman, and Batgirl. The Power Ranger ones were action figures. The Power Ranger the movie ones. They did the Spider-Man ones. They did the Marvel superheroes ones. They were making action figures, and even the Beast Wars ones. I think I have them on my desk here. I always keep a Dinobot nearby. But yeah, like even the Beast Wars ones, like they were making action figures back then of really high quality. Today, it's such a shame what has happened. But $1 sealed, own a piece of history in a lot of ways. And this one, when I saw it, I was like, I couldn't leave without it. Any Denny O'Neil styled kind of Batmans from that era. Obviously, this is a more modern one. I believe this was DC Universe Selects, I think this one was. But any of that era, if they're nice and minty and good condition, I always pick them up because that was like the era of Batman that I first encountered. It was like Adam West and Denny O'Neil kind of comic books and stuff like that of that like late 80s, early 90s, before obviously, the Batman animated series and the Michael Keaton movie. So have a huge connection to that design. Really like it. Love it. So picked that one up too. And this one, I believe this was $15 Canadian. So, and again, and keep in mind 10% off too. Pretty nice. Uh, and then a bunch of paper stuff, and these do have the prices on it. Picked this up for $1 because I'm a sports guy. Bo Jackson, because I just love Bo Jackson. $1. Bo knows, love Bo Jackson. Anyone knows the old cartoon that failed of Pro Stars back in the day? And then I went through. He had a whole bunch of wacky stuff from collections he bought. So like, oh hey, Rock Lords. He put it under promotional, but it's the catalog and instruction booklets. So powerful living rock. So I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving with that. $3 Canadian. That's like what, $2 American. Gimme. Uh, Uncut sheet of Marvel Universe cards from 1993. Again, I grew up on the Marvel Universe cards. They were a big part of my childhood and me learning about a lot of those characters when you couldn't afford the comics, but you bought a pack of cards. That pack of cards had 15 cards in it. You learned about 15 characters without having to buy a comic book. So got that too. This was how much was this? $5 Canadian, uncut sheet. That's pretty cool. It's even numbered too. Back in '92, that one pretty cool. Uh, Bought this one, Ugly Comics. This was the free comic book day one, but this one had a whole bunch of like also like Pokemon stuff and everything. I pretty much bought it for the cover. I always like a good Action Comics parody cover. $3 Canadian. Again, like 250 American. These are newer books. I'll show those last because that's new stuff. That's new stuff. New stuff. New stuff. What other weird stuff? Oh, here we go. Namesake, Proto Man cover, Proto Man variant cover, $5. Mega Man. This was from the Archie run. Have to get the Proto Man covers. But I'm still trying to track down all the Proto Man covers because back in the day when I had these part of my pull bin, a lot of the variant covers were like the ones where they're like you buy a certain amount of them and they give you like you have to buy 10 and then you get the variant cover. And since I was like the only jackass who was buying this book, unfortunately, never got those variants. And then slowly throughout the years, people like, oh, hey, I have this variant cover or whatever. So any Proto Man variant, good stuff, good stuff. Just bought this because I'm a Canadian, and I was like, oh, this was another promotional comic. Some Canadian comic. This guy reminds me of Fido Dido. Anyone who's an old man like me remembers Seven Up when they used to have Fido Dido as as their mascot. So this is a Canadian kind of Iron Man book called Pift, and it's in French and in English too. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna read it, but it's $5 Canadian, so that's like what $4 American and plus 10% off. Can't argue. These were the two books my wife picked up. Um, and you know what's ironic? This is every character she's ever cosplayed. Now that I think about it, she loves Huntress. I love Huntress. She loves Huntress. That's probably her best cosplay she ever did. She loves Birds of Prey. And then, of course, she also cosplayed as Baroness and she also cosplayed as Chung Li. So, boom, right there. You have everything she's ever cosplayed in one shot right there. She wants to do Catwoman. She wants to do Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. We'll see how that goes one day. One day. And then new books. New books. Venom, Lethal, and Protector 1 and 2. These are the variant covers. Got to pick these up. I had the main covers of them. These are the variants. I love Silver Sable. She's probably one of my favorite female superheroes of all time, along with Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel. Huntress is probably on there too. Black Cat is on there. So really cool. Nice to see more Silver Sable because, well, I don't want to spoil. She has a whole crazy history in the modern era of comics. And then I just had to pick this up because Disney and Marvel, they're doing stuff together. So now they're doing Disney Marvel crossover books. So what if the Disney Marvel universe were part of Infinity Gauntlet? What? What? I haven't read this yet, but Thanos is my guy. One of the first comics I ever owned was Infinity Gauntlet #3. What? Okay. So I'm going to be reading this tonight too. Look. You got Minnie Mouse is Captain America. I think that's Minnie Mouse because she has eyelashes. You got Goofy is Spider-Man. You got Mickey. Yeah, so there's Mickey is Sorcerer Supreme. I guess that makes sense because he was the Sorcerer's Apprentice in in what do you call it in Fantasia. I'm not a big Disney guy, so I apologize if I'm getting these wrong. And then you got Pluto as Silver Surfer, and I love Silver Surfer, so that's hilarious. And then you got Pete Sinclair is Thanos. That is, I don't know, man. I haven't read this yet, but oh my god. Okay, this is gonna be weird. It's gonna be a weird book. It's a what if book. So I love that. That's really cool. That's really cool. Uh JR Mina, try to catch the rest of the stream because took a photo for you of some stuff because everyone always asks. So Proto Man, what did you have for dinner? Because everyone always asks that. I'll have the image at the end of the segment. Let's put it that way. So picked up those books. Those are all really good books. Just put them somewhere safe there. Hey Proto Man, say my name so my kid can hear you. I will be in the live stream famous for him. So Link CW reviews. Well, what's your real name? That your son hopefully would know your real name or dad. Any of my YouTube members, of course, I'll read anything you want, and Patreon people, of course, and what do you call it? And anyone who super chats. Super chats are important for the lifeblood of any podcaster or streamer. Those are important, so never forget to super chat, my people. Is Donald Duck Human Torch? Was he on the cover there? Oh, you're right. I missed Donald Duck. He's Human Torch. Look at that. Is he Human Torch or is he not Human Torch? Who was in it wasn't Human Torch that was in the Infinity Gauntlet book. It was Firestorm, not Firestorm, that's DC. What's his name? Oh my god, he had the flaming stick. Oh god, and it's not Adam Warlock, but he looks like Adam Warlock. I don't think that's Human Torch though. I think there was another like fire-based character, and no, it's not Mephisto. Um, oh my god, I'm forgetting. I don't think it's Human Torch though. Not and so anyway, so got all that stuff, fantastic stuff. Again, thank you, Mark. And then Mark gave me this as a little birthday present. He gave me a cool Hot Wheels 1966 Batmobile. It's like a chibi version. It almost looks like like the what Bumblebee and the crew, the Q Chrono Q scale. So I got a nice little 60s Batmobile Batman from Mark. So thank you, Mark, for the birthday present. Cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff there. Firelord, thank you. Not Nova, Firelord. There you go. That's a. I was thinking Firestorm. No, that's DC. I think it's Firelord. I don't think it's because Human Torch, if I remember correctly, was not in the original Infinity Gauntlet story. Everyone disappeared except Reed Richards. I think Reed was the only one that didn't disappear. I think even Thing disappeared also when the snap happened, and they didn't melt away. They just disappeared. It popped out of existence. Yeah, there's from what someone told me that yeah they did repaints of that one. I think they did an orange repaint. I think they did another one too. I know my dad's a die cast guy, so I know like Hot Wheels when they have one mold, they milk it to death. Like me, I'm not a big Hot Wheels collector, but when they do some nice stuff, like they did a Godzilla one recently, they did a Godzilla Hot Wheel. Anyone who watches who my Instagram, let me just over there. If you go on my Instagram, they did a Hot Wheels Godzilla, and I was like, I gotta pick that up because that's cool. Any kaiju stuff, it's right up my alley. And again, Hot Wheels are so cheap. They're like $1.50. Can't go wrong with a kaiju. And it was on a R32 Nissan Skyline. So monster of the road, king of monsters. Very smart. But yeah, got all of that stuff, nice stuff here and there. And then came home, and then the wife was in the mood to make some Korean. So she's making japchae with with beef. You have to use the beef strips, and you got to pretty much saute them and then marinate them, and then you put it in the japchae, which is a traditional Korean dish, which is absolutely delicious and amazing. It uses glass potato noodles, and then with a uh, what's it called there? Oh my god, I can't pronounce it in Korean because forget my white ass, but um, it's pretty much it's a salad that's on the right there. It's a salad that's made out of red peppers, um red peppers as in like the actual red peppers, and damn, what's the other ingredients? I'm trying to remember. She made it all. I'm an idiot, so I don't know, but it tastes amazing. There's definitely cucumbers in there, that's for sure. That makes a majority of it, but really good stuff. So I had a little bit of it before I started the stream, but after the stream I'm going to go have the rest. She's an amazing cook, so that's why whenever people always ask me, how come you have so much Asian food? Because she's an amazing Asian cook. So she's absolutely incredible. So having that tonight for people that are wondering, people always ask me, "What are you eating tonight? What are you eating tonight?" So whenever she's making something really awesome, I'll try to remember. So I know I'm going to forget most of the time, but I'll try to take a photo of it. And it's funny too because I took the photo and I was making the slide today for you guys, and she called me. She's like, "I took a better photo." She didn't like the photo I took because apparently girls take way better photos of food than us guys. Like so. I don't know, but really good. So that's what I'm having tonight. I'm having japchae, really good food here and there. So many people are like, "Oh, you have a significant other and everything." Of course I do. I've always for years and years. Some people have seen her at TF cons in the past. Never brought her to a BotCon though. BotCon was always more of a business trip for me, so I'd always would feel bad if I went to like a BotCon and then kind of was running around doing my thing because some of those people at BotCon I only see once a year. You know. Uh, that's a great question. Super chat question. E Dogs 20111. Do you think we will get an Origins Wheeljack? Not only do I think we're going to get an Origins Wheeljack, Jizai Toys, who is a pretty famous designer, not officially. He's not an official designer. Doesn't work for Hasbro. Doesn't work for Takara. He's a guy based off out of Hong Kong, if I remember correctly. Used to be in China, but then he moved to Hong Kong, different kind of area. Um, and he he was a guy who was designing some insanely great stuff like back in 2006 and going, "Hey man, you could make this character. Here's how you do the transformation." And Jizai put out just recently, how could you do Origins Wheeljack and make it look good? And it's a really good little animatic that he put out there. It was really nice. So not only do I think we're gonna get one, but I think they're gonna pull it off pretty well if Jizz is based on it. Because all those years ago, Jizz showed like, hey, here's how you do Cyclonus, right? And then magically, like there was that Universe 2.0 Cyclonus that was like practically based off of Jizz designs. He showed how to do Galvatron properly, and then beat for beat, this Galvatron transformed exactly like Jizz, no surprise. And I'm not accusing Hasbro of stealing his designs. I mean, there's a lot of similar thinking that goes on when you do a transformation. You can't. There's only so much that you could make unique when it comes to looking at those old transformations and how you can make it your own, especially within the confines and the budget of a deluxe or a Voyager for retail. But man, like, yeah, see, Ryan saw it. Anyone, if they can, I don't know if you're able to. Are you able to post a link in the chat? I don't know if it's possible because I don't know the limitations, like the rules with. I know if you swear, like they're gonna cut that out. I don't know why. Sometimes like I'll get a message like it'll say like after I do the live stream, they'll be like the following chat messages were blocked. Do you wish to approve them? And I'll see like a whole bunch of stuff where someone will be like that figure was ass, and it's like their chat didn't go through. So I mean, if you could post the link to the on Twitter, definitely, because it's a really cool. It really shows that animated Origins Wheeljack could legitimately work. Like going from a box to something that looks like his Earth mode animation model, which that's how it was back in then through due to the limitations. So number one, I think it'll happen. Just because all of the Origin stuff that we've gotten in the past has been received very positively. People love it. I think the Hasbro guys are excited to do it because it's something unique. The Bumblebee one was amazing. The Wheeljack one is amazing. They're all amazing. So it's really cool. We got a gold super chat from Paul. Thank you, Paul, with the gold super chat. I read comments when people grew up poor, but yet were fortunate to get a TF collection that still resonates with them today. Do other old toy lines have that nostalgia? A lot of old toy lines. Like look, Transformers, especially I know this from owning like old mint and box stuff. Transformers during the 80s was an expensive toy line. You know, the mini bots, which you would consider the cheapest price point, were 7.99. Sometimes 6.9. Oh, mind you, keep in mind I'm saying Canadian numbers. So let's go with 4.99. I know there's old catalog scans that show that, but it was an expensive line. A primary reason why toy lines like Ninja Turtles did so well when they debuted was because the price of engagement for Ninja Turtle toys was very low. Ninja Turtle toys were like 2.99 to 3.99 each, and that's why like so many kids growing up with Ninja Turtles had tons of Ninja Turtle toys, but so many kids that grew up with Transformers maybe only had one or two or three Transformers. And then they had like a couple of GoBots and maybe a Convertitron or a bootleg or something. Like every kid's Transformer collection was never completely Transformers back then. When you got into the Beast Wars era, I don't want to count G2 because G2 had the same problems of being expensive because a lot of the bones of G2 was still Generation 1. But when you get into Beast Wars, they kind of learned from that problem. And that's where the price points were really invented, where it's like, here's basic scale, which is the flip changers at the time. Here's the deluxe class. Here's the ultras. Excuse me, the not ultra class, mega class, and then here's the ultra class, and they kept them in these price points. And the stuff that was the big expensive stuff, the ultra class, few and far between. Primal, Megatron, and then like the combiners, and then when you get into the transmetals, like Depth Charge and Rampage, and then you get to the final one, which was the super class, which was the Optimal Optimus. So, which was its own price point at the end of the line. So it's something where Transformers, yeah, there it was. And me growing up, we lived, I like to say we were middle class on a good day. My dad was unemployed for a lot of periods of time. And my mom was working a job as a secretary and later on a financial advisor for a school. So we were getting by. We were getting by. Let's put it this way. Uh, you know, I didn't have a lot of Transformer toys growing up, but I always had just enough to keep like thank God for like video game rentals, and like stuff like that and cheap comic books and like I just said before, with this here, getting trading cards as a kid, you know, to me like that was being able to have comic books to read without being able to afford the comic book. A pack of Marvel trading cards, that might be $1.99. A comic book might be $1.99. But again, that pack of trading cards is 15 cards, 15 stories I could read. So different but and then the irony is then years later, Paul, we become adults, we make good money as adults, and then we kind of go overboard. You can only have one as a child. Now you're going to try to have them all as a child. Still to this day, like I was just saying, when I go to Mark the Comic Hunter's store, there's so many 80s and 90s toys. And I'll be looking at like some of those Kenner Batman toys or looking at some of those Toy Biz Marvel toys and just going like, do I want to leave with, you know, do I want to leave with deep aquatic Batman today or quick change Bruce Wayne or, you know, uh what was another one I was looking at that I was kind of like 50-50 I wanted to leave with? Oh, Stryker from X-Force from the Toy Biz, you know? So like just I still to that day, like I still look back at our old toys. Transformers, I've pretty much almost caught up with everything from my childhood. There's very few holes left of what I'm missing. But some of the other toy lines still to this day. I'm kind of like slowly I'm still trying to like I'd like to get a decent condition Batcave. Like, and I'm not sure which one I want to get. There's so many different ones, but I want to get a decent condition Batcave. As a kid, I had the original 1989 Toy Biz Batcave, which was not very good. I actually used it more with my Star Wars toys because I felt it was more like a Star Wars playset than inside the Death Star kind of playset than it was more a Batcave. It was just kind of limited by that. But just I'm gonna probably pick up a Batcave at some point. There's a lot of cool stuff at that comic store that just always makes the gears turn. I pick up a few things also for Aaron's table. There's a lot of cool stuff there that like literally a good 10% of that store is stuff that Aaron Archer worked on through Kenner and everything. So a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff at that store. I love that. Every time I go there, I think I spend 2 hours there. No joke. It's so huge. You should, guys, look it up on Facebook. Mark the Comic Hunter in Montreal. It's huge, that store. Amazing store. Always suggest checking them out. But thanks for the gold super chat, Paul. And welcome to the Transformer Slag podcast. Hope you enjoy your stay. Let's read some other stuff here. Michael Koo, for me, toy lines from the 70s that I loved. Shogun Warriors, I love Shogun Warriors. That's something that Aaron was talking about, and Micronauts you mentioned too. Shogun Warriors was a big one for me. I read the Shogun Warrior comic books as a kid. And because we had a Filipino station here in Montreal, it was, oh my God, channel 64 Channel 64, which was the Tagalog Filipino station, which had a lot of stuff in English, just Filipino people dubbing it. And I had all of that Super Robot stuff. So Transistor Z, aka Mazinger Z, Great Mazinger, Dimos. Oh my God, I love Dimos. Dimos is easily my favorite of the Shogun Warriors, aka Super Robots from that era. What's another good one? Steel Jeeg. Oh, Steel Jeeg's another good one. Gold, if I, as a French Canadian, Goldorak, aka UFO Grandizer. How could you not? You know, and Micronauts because of its Transformer origins and its Steel Jeeg origins. Actually, when you look into it, um, Micronauts is another classic. I have a bunch of Micronauts stuff just because what I love about Micronauts, and everyone in the chat could go do this too. So at one point in Japan, in like the late 90s, early 2000s, they were doing these 4-packs of Micronauts, and they were doing it of every letter in the alphabet. And so they'd be like letter A, and it would be a 4-pack of Micronauts, and it would be like Andy, Andrew, I'm sorry if I'm forgetting someone else's names. Like they do four people that start with the letter A, and they did like that, and it would go B, C, D. I think they didn't do like X and Z, but they were doing like common letters. And so if you have like a very common name, there's probably a Micronaut named after you. So the spy magicians of D, there's a Dan and a Daniel and a Danny, I think, of the spy magicians. So check that out if you have like for sure Michael. I'm pretty sure there's a Michael. But check out those Micronauts. Specifically Microman, which is the Japanese equivalency. Microman. What's a really good way? I think Microman Forever. If that website still exists, they're a good reference for Micronauts and Microman stuff. Great website. Has a little bit of Transformer history too on it because it's all connected. Someone's asking about Anda Seats. It's an Anda Seat. They're a sponsor of the podcast. Go check them out, andaseats.com. And if you want, use the promo code ProtoMan and you get 15% off your first order if you're curious. They're one of our sponsors. And by sponsor, I mean they sent me a seat for free, and I was so grateful for them because they were fans of the podcast. Like, hey, can we send you a seat so you could use for the live streams? And I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome of you. And because they did that, that's awesome. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna promote your stuff forever. Uh, the Toys R Us 4 packs. Yeah, that's it. That's Eric. That's correct. That's what they were. They were the Toys R Us. They were Toys R Us Japan exclusive 4 packs. They were so cool. I have to dig it up one time because all my Microman stuff is in the other room outside of the Transformer related ones that might be in the G1 section. Um, but I have all my Microman stuff in the other room, and those were so cool. They were so cool. So it was like it's like if you were like, and unfortunately, it was only guy names. They did girl names, but they did them individually, and it was part of the Micro Lady line, and there wasn't a lot of them. So like, but like, man, if you're a guy with a common name, there's probably a Microman named after you. There's probably a Microman named after you for sure. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Very, very excited day. Very fun day today. Very fun day today. It was just super fun just going out and just I love summer here in Montreal. Montreal, like I mean everyone always says the city they live in is the best city in the world, but I love Montreal to death. It's just such a cultural and cool city and there's so much stuff to do. And yeah, 7 months out of the year we have terrible weather and winter and fall is pretty good, but like winter's pretty brutal. But when spring and summer come around, man, there's no other place in the world you rather be than Montreal. That's why we get the Formula One here. That's why we get the Jazz Fest. That's why we get the Just for Laughs Festival. All these, all the comedians from around the world. Dave Chappelle's coming down and everything, and every Louis C.K. Like best city to live in the world when it's the summer. And like when you're doing the toy hunting and you're driving around, beautiful weather, everything's great. You're wearing your good clothes. You're like, yo, let's go toy hunting. Look for some toys, yo. Hit the comic store, go get some good food while we're out. We actually, when we went for lunch, we had what's it called there? Banh mi. Banh mi is a Vietnamese sandwich, and then I had it with che ba mao, which is a three-color drink. It's like a dessert. Fantastic stuff. Had that today. Great, just a fantastic day today. Just a beautiful day. Whenever it's summer, it's beautiful. It's beauty. Paul with the $5 super chat again. And Paul, thank you again with the super chat. Any stories where you were traveling for personal and you stumbled upon a rare TF find in a store? Yes. I took a trip with my wife to Albany because her sister was doing a residency there as a um, as a dentist. And for some reason, because like we're in Montreal, Albany's like a 5-hour drive south in the United States. So I guess she just, for whatever reason, she wanted to do it in Albany. So we were going to go visit her. And so we're like, oh, that's cool. Okay, we'll go to Albany. So we drove down and we're like, well, while we're in Albany, why don't we check out the comic stores, the anime stores, if they have like, any kind of cool stores there. I went to a comic store there and no joke, no joke. I'll actually let me get it because I still have it to this day. I have it on my wall. So I bought this figure. It's a little dusty. I bought this figure many years ago complete, loose, and I opened it up back in the day. And so I have it complete, and you could barely see them. I think it's kind of see them. Anyways, you'll notice when I show the figure. So I had them loose complete. I went to this store. There it is, sitting on the wall, and they were asking $50 American for it. Bam. The Beast Wars, Convoy Bats, and Purple Megatron 2-pack, sealed complete, just sitting on the wall, $50. And I was like, oh damn, I'm leaving with this. So, because I have this, I have this. I bought this from eBay, like not this one, but my original one that's in my display now. I bought this. If it was eBay, maybe 2001, 2002. Let me put this down. This carded beauty. Um, and then I ripped it off the card back. I was like, oh my god, it's a G1 colored, Optimus Primal bat. Like that's so cool. Oh, and a purple Megatron, and it has a CD. Let's see what's on the CD. Oh, the CD is region coded and doesn't work on old computers back in 1999. So they had that. Um, and that was not the only obviously like that's the Transformer related cool thing that I bought. I bought that, and I bought X-Men number, you'll have to correct me on this, X-Men number 8, the original, 1963, X-Men number 8, first appearance of the Sentinels. Maybe it's not number 8, but I picked up that one also. And God, I think I paid $50 for that too, or $40. And I remember leaving the store and then hearing the owner of the store say to one of the girls who worked there, going, I think I undercharged that guy for those two items. Because I was like, oh yeah, like I was like, oh man, that's good. So that was a really good find in a store, and that was a trip to Albany. Aside from that, like obviously a lot of the trips that I take are convention related, so those don't count because you're looking for toys. I've taken a lot of trips to when you live in Montreal, you live like no joke. If I get into my car right now, I get into my car right now, I could be in Plattsburgh, New York in half an hour. No joke. Like I'll be in Plattsburgh, New York buying toys in half an hour if I wanted to. I could just jump into my car. But Plattsburgh, New York kind of sucks for toys. It's small town. No offense, Plattsburgh. But there's a lot of other close by cities, New York City being one of them. I go to New York, I go to Philadelphia, you know, I mean, geez, Rhode Island if if you want to be bored, but I will say Rhode Island I will say is boring. Rhode Island was it's not fun. I've had to go there a few times. But yeah, that's a fun one. That was a fun one. That was a really cool one. Albany is not an exciting town, but they have a lot of cool like geek stores every time I go there. They have a few of them. They have a really good anime store there I went to that has a lot of good merchandise. And the thing is too, when you find a really good store, it's only great if the prices are great too. Because you could find like a huge store that has tons of merchandise, tons of inventory, but if everything is like more expensive than even eBay or online, it's like, ugh, like it's great to window shop, but it's not great. And this guy, it's a one of those stores. It's a comic store, but they also get loose action figures, and they know that's kind of a way to survive. You can't just make money only on comics. You got to sell, you got to sell toys. You got to sell a lot of stuff. So that was a really good find. That was definitely one. I could probably think of another, but that's one that always comes to mind because that trip to Albany, I was like, oh, if we go to like Walmart in the States, I might find a cool, transformer I can't find here in Canada because of language laws or something, but I didn't expect to find that. That was like, damn, you know. Um, so here's the thing, Michael. It's if it's not a VCD. It's actually a CD that plays stuff. It's just that it's region coded because back then it could probably play now because now I have all kinds of region coded stuff on my computer to play Japanese CDs and everything. But back then when I bought it back in 2001, I tried to play it and it didn't work. But I know it has programs on it for a coloring game, like you could color in characters and stuff. Like I've heard about it. I could probably pop it in, and you know what? I should probably dump that CD. I should probably find my open one and then dump the CD, and then people could play it. Like make a rip of it. What is it called there? CDI file or whatever. But I have VCDs, and VCDs you could play in different real player and stuff. It works. Yeah, like you said, it's MPEG. Because I had a lot of Chinese VCDs of Gundam stuff back in the day and Kamen Rider from my friend Ben, and those worked on my old computer always. Timmy K. Poindexter Esquire wants to know with the YouTube member question, how is the weather? It's 30 here. Well, let's take a look. It was very good today. It was fantastic. Oh, I got a whole bunch of messages. That's why I don't look at my phone ever. People always ask, why don't you have social media on your phone? It's like, because I get enough messages just from text messages. Let's open up Montreal weather and see what we're popping with right now. Right now it is 9 o'clock, 9:30 here in Montreal, the greatest city in the world. And we are popping at, well, right now it's 12. Mind you, 12 Celsius. So, it's a cool night now, but I mean, during the day today, man, it was beautiful. Like tomorrow what are we going to reach? Yeah, see, tomorrow we're going to reach a high of like 17 Celsius. So, not too hot, not too cold. Go out there, wear a gun shirt, you know, cut off a little bit, go out there, have a good time, you know? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, you know? Doesn't have to be too cold, doesn't have to be too hot, and it's still spring right now. When summer comes, ooh, it's gonna be amazing. Gonna be amazing. Not minus 12, plus 12. If it was minus 12 in May, I'd be royally pissed. When I was a kid, I would have my birthday parties. Sometimes we'd actually have a pool party because the weather was so good. Usually by end of May, because I'm May 27th. Usually by end of May, we start getting like the mid 20s, early 30s Celsius, not Fahrenheit. The whole world works in Celsius. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Um, so like it's just I used to always have like pool parties or something. We go to someone's house or have a pool party or something. It sometimes is cold. I like warm weather. And I like, my favorite season's fall because it's not too cold, not too hot. Put on a sweater. Oh, it's kind of hot because you didn't expect it to be kind of warmer. You take off the sweater. That's it. Wrap it around your hips, 90s style, you know? Wayne's World. Lizard Sphere X, I haven't swam in years. Well, Lizard Sphere X, I will tell you the same thing I tell everyone. Swimming is the healthiest way to keep weight off, and it's the healthiest way to build muscle. I swim a lot. I would go to like someone's party and like they'll be in a condo or something and they'll be like, "Oh, we have like a heated Olympian swimming pool in our condo." And I'd be like, "What? Why didn't you tell me?" I love swimming. Because growing up as a kid, we had a swimming pool, like not like an in-ground one, not that much, but we had like a swimming pool, one of those ones that you could kind of like build up and stuff. And loved swimming as a kid and always swam. And every time I had my pool parties, have my friends come over and it's a good way to stay in shape. Let me tell you, really good way to stay in shape. Really good way. It sucks that when you live in Canada though, and you can't enjoy it 7 months out of the year, and then you have winter, and then when summer comes, then you have to clean out the pool because all winter it was there, and then you find like two dead squirrels in there that accidentally fell in the pool, and that's not fun part. Needless to say, when I moved away from my parents and got my own place and bought my own house, they got rid of the swimming pool because they realized not worth the headache anymore. You know, not worth the headache. Finding dead animals in there and stuff was not worth the headache, and that's a shame. Finding like dead squirrels and stuff. Those poor things. Like, how much time we got left? Man, we got 15 minutes left in the stream. What is going on? We flew today. Wish I should got other stuff to show you. I didn't get much else. What else did I get this week? Oh, Uh, also picked up the new Zelda game for the Nintendo Switch. I pre-ordered the special edition one, the Tears of the Kingdom one. I have not opened it yet. I didn't expect I got a pin set they gave me with it too. They gave me some kind of cool little pre-order pin set with it. That was a nice bonus, so I picked that up. So I'm gonna play that at some point. I bought it, but I looked at it and I went, "Oh man, I got so many other games I'm playing right now, so that's gonna go on the side for now." but I just picked it up early because you know how these stupid games are. If you don't pick them up on pre-order date, it's gonna be $500 later. So good stuff. So I picked that up too, but that came in the mail this week along with the amiibo that comes with it. The other amiibo for it's like Link shooting like a looks like a grappling hook, his hook shot. So I got that too. That's about it, really. That's about it. Michael Koo with the $5 super chat. Michael Koo. Do you think the Transformers Rise of the Beast Oreos will make it into the US or Canada? You know what's funny, Michael? I saw that news this morning, and no joke, my wife said, "Do you want to go look and see if the Oreo?" Because we were in Walmart, we passed by Walmart quickly. Do you want to go check if they have the Oreos? And I said, "No, it's too early." I think they'll definitely be in the USA. I don't know about Canada, but they'll probably definitely be in the USA. If Oreo took the time and energy to put Maximal Terracon Decepticon, I think it's Decepticon. No, it's Maximal Terracon Autobot, and what's the last one? Probably Decepticon, no? But there's four on there. Um for the Oreos and stuff. But it's just the Oreo thing. I remember when they did the Pokemon ones, those were selling out like crazy. Like people were hoarding those. But it's not Pokemon. Pokemon people are crazy. So um but yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would love to pick those up. I'd love to pick those up. Make a good Oreo cake out of them. And then you could use the little emblems to make a nice Oreo cake. Horned Owl Nice, I'm playing Tears of Kingdom and listening to you here. I honestly, Horned Owl, I'm probably not going to play it for a while because I want to play. I'm hearing a cat. The cat is somewhere. I think she just came out from outside. Um, I'm still in the middle of Guardian Heroes. I love that game. That's a super game. That's a great game that every week there's new DLC and new updates to it of new campaigns and stuff. Really good. It's a free Switch game that is super fun. It's a Zelda clone pretty much. Has a little bit of a SimCity element to it. I know that sounds crazy, but really good game. Playing Pokemon Quest always every so often. What else am I playing? God, there's so many things I'm playing right now. Oh, I'm revisiting um Batman Arkham City because they're going to be making a collection soon on the Nintendo Switch that's going to have all three games on it. So I want to replay it to kind of get my bearings back on that one. Um, I'm also playing Samurai Showdown competitively online. Samurai Showdown 2019 for the Switch. Picked that up recently for from SNK. Quite a few things. Usually with me is a lot of times if I know the game isn't going to be a headache to get later on, like it's just going to have a regular edition and it'll be out there, I wait and then it goes on sale and I buy it on sale. Games like Zelda, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't get that special edition day one, they're just going to scalp it to death and then that's the end of it. And then good luck getting it, you know. Autobot, Decepticon, Maximal, and Terracon. There you go. That's it. Remember those. We need an Energon type drink. We actually did have an Energon type drink at one point. During the 2007 movie, I actually still have it. I kept it because I'm a psychopath. During the 2007 movie, Seal Test, the chocolate milk company, did Energon chocolate milk for the 2007 movie, and I still have the carton for it. Now, granted, it would be brown Energon, which we've never had, but Michael Koo enter. So Michael, it's they're doing the three games. It's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. All three as a collection on the Nintendo Switch as a physical release. They were supposed to do it. I think they were supposed to do it in 2020, but then pandemic stuff and it got delayed and I don't know what's happening with it till then. They released the Batman Telltale collection, which is a different collection of games for the Switch, but they're going to do the Arkham one at some point too. So that's a fantastic game. Even if you're not a Batman fan, if you like really good games, right, you could play it. I think it's on is it on Xbox? I played it on PlayStation, but you know, you could pick up those games so cheap now. Old PlayStation 3 games, man, they must be like nothing now, but you can pick it up for nothing. Great games, fantastic games. That's the thing I always say. There's so many fantastic video games out there that like you could pick up for like $10. Go on your local like, you know, Facebook Marketplace and just type like, Skyrim, Assassin's Creed, any of the Batman Arkham games, all of those games, and you'll find them for like $5, people getting rid of them, buying them in big lots. So many old games that you could dump like hours into, you could find for absolutely nothing online. So that's why like I'm never in a hurry to run out and buy the latest whatever for 59.99 when I know there's so much other great stuff, so much other great things. Super excited though about that Arkham collection though, because that's a fantastic series of games. Absolutely great. Uh, Short of the Lego Batman 2 game, that was the only other like perfect depiction of Batman's Batcave in a video game. Lizard Sphere X, I'm sure the Insecticons have plenty of brown energon. Actually, now that I think about it, it's like there's been red energon, blue energon, purple energon, never really brown, you know. Orange maybe in some cases when it's the color lighting with Sunbow Entertainment when they would do it. Never brown. They never done. Yeah, they never really did like Energon goodies. Those would be cool. Like imagine like remember like the this shows how old I am. They used to have chocolate cigarettes as a kid, and then you have Popeyes candy sticks they call it today. But they used to have chocolate cigarettes as a kid, which it was a stick of chocolate that had paper wrap around it that literally looked like a cigarette. And like I imagine if they did something similar, Energon goodies, because let's be real, cups Energon goodies is like a pack of cigarettes that you're kind of like taking out. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'd dig that. Cups Energon goodies. Michael Koo, the Pokemon Oreos went bonkers. Yeah, I remember because I was looking for them due to a very rare Mew Oreo. Are you serious? Was that what it was? Oh my God, people are crazy. Like I love Pokemon, but sometimes I just wonder. Sometimes I really wonder. Sometimes I really, really wonder. Oh my goodness. So there was a Chase Mew. Imagine some kid just bought a box of it and just ate them and didn't even know, that the one that he ate was like worth $100. Did the Mewtwo go for just as much? Or any other legendary birds? Was like a Moltres selling for $50 or an Articuno for $50? Just give me a Gengar. Give me my boy Gengar. Give me a Gengar. Freeze dry it or whatever, like whatever they do to like preserve it. Yeah, that's crazy. 9 minutes left in the live stream, my friends. 9 minutes left. Get your super chats in while we can, because then Protoman is going to have Jap Chai and enjoying the rest of the evening with some video games. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me grab this Batman. This beautiful Batman figure. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. I mean, I know everyone. There's this great YouTuber. I forget his name, but he does a segment. You could find it if you probably look him up. It's called The Best Batman, and every Batman's the best Batman. And what he's talking about is every Batman has its positives and negatives, and he'll talk about every version of Batman and how that Batman is the best Batman for somebody. And like obviously he'll talk about, you know, the obvious ones, the Michael Keaton's, the Kevin Conroy's and stuff, but he also talks about like a lot of the comic book ones, he talks about different versions of the cartoon ones, and like every Batman is the best Batman, but everyone also grew up with what's something they feel is the best Batmans. So love it, love it, love it, love it. Good stuff. I'm telling you, it's always surreal, like to like own a Batman figure that you loved with growing up, and then knowing that Aaron Archer like worked on it or something, which is like years later going like, oh, I would end up doing a podcast with the guy who like worked on like the Batman Beyond stuff with all those translucent colors and stuff. Which one day we're gonna do a segment on that. That's another one too. That's another good one too. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. Check out Aaron Archer's stuff when you get a chance. We have a lot of cool segments. Go check them out. We have so many long form segments. based on all kinds of different properties that we talked about throughout the years. My knowledge is not just Transformers, it's toys in general. I know everything when it comes to that stuff. So, um, but yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We got 6 minutes left in the live stream. In the live stream. Let me grab some of these comics too. We picked up today. This one, I swear, man, this is gonna be the weird read tonight. This is gonna be the weird read. When I saw it, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What if Mickey and friends had to save the universe against Thanos? What if? What if?" Lizard Sphere X, I'm hoping for Tidal Wave's prototype. Well, we'll see if we get a tidal wave uh, in a couple of days in the live stream. Tidal Wave is one of those characters, in all honesty, and Aaron said the same thing too, as someone who designed it. Tidal Wave is one of those things that I would want him to get a Titan class treatment. And right now, the cat's out of the bag on Titan class, so I don't think we're going to get a tidal wave just yet, because unless they're going to do some kind of, oh hey, generation selects tidal wave, but I don't think they should do that, because that would be, number one, it would have to be a new tooling, and to make it a generation selects exclusive is kind of tone deaf. You want to have a wider market. Doing something like Black Zarek that's just a retool of Scorponok, that makes sense. There's a story with that because of the big V and COVID. It was tough to get that out, because at the time in 2020, when he should have been on retail shelves, there was lockdowns. There's a whole story with that. So it made sense to do a Black Zarek as a direct market retail, a direct market mail order item through Generation Selects. But to do like a tidal wave as a Gen Selects, that'd be silly. Save tidal wave, like whatever we get next. Legacy Uni, whatever is next year's thing, do it then. You know, but I think that at the same time, it's going to be the 40th anniversary of Transformers. Do something a little more impactful, maybe. I don't know. You want to do something big and special for the 40th anniversary, but we're gonna get a lot of cool stuff. We're gonna get a lot of cool stuff in a couple of days for sure. Oh, Aaron, what did he say? What did Aaron say? Let me tell you about the best Batman. Exactly. Well, everyone's Batman is the best Batman. What's the best Batman, Aaron? That 100th Batman anniversary Batman, is that the best Batman? I have to get a boxed version of that. I have to get a boxed version. I have like a super beat up loose version of it. I don't have a boxed one. I have to track one down. There's got to be a cheap one online, you know? Let me tell you about the best Batman. We should do a segment, Aaron, just me and you talking about the best Batmans, and just open that up to like super chats. We'll do that on your channel. We should do that as a live. We'll do like, you say what you think is the best Batman, then I'll say, and then you do another best Batman, and we'll go back and forth. Because I'm pretty sure we're on the same page with some, but not on others. You know, that'd be really fun. And then Aaron Archer. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Mini cons. I think mini cons are coming for sure. 100%, I think their mini cons are coming. Sam Smith made a mistake and accidentally, in an indirect way, spoiled that I think we're going to get mini cons. Go back and watch the live stream. Sam Smith is messing with the Megatron, and then he's like, "Oh, he has all these ports here to attach a bunch of things to that we're planning in the future." And then BMAC's like, "Oh, little spoiler, you're getting a little ahead of yourself there, BMAC." I mean, Sam. And so, like, I think, yeah, it's coming. There's gonna be mini cons. Faux show. Michael Koo, I would like Hasbro to do a metallic red repaint of the Legacy Transformers. Well, that would have to be vacuum metal plastic, unless it's like a metallic paint, which doesn't always come out well. Um, I think, again, the obvious repaint is going to be Cryotech. That's definitely going to happen. Is it going to be a retail version? I could see them getting away with it by doing it as a store exclusive. And I know people don't want to hear that. Oh no, Walmart exclusive Cryotech. But I could totally see them selling in a exclusive line to, like, let's say Walmart, and going, hey, your two deluxes are this, your one Voyager is that, and your leader is boom, blue Cryotech. I could totally see them doing that. And Aaron says, I agree. They all live their own life. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. But yeah, 2 minutes left. Man, 2 minutes left in the live stream. We flew today, my friends. We flew today. Great day today. Great day today. Great questions. Unless there's some more here that are going to be coming in, but great questions. Another Saturday night. Another Saturday night in the can. Done and done. Good toys to mess with tonight. Good video games to play tonight. Good comic books to read tonight. And most importantly, like anything in life, good food to eat tonight. Chill with the wife and just enjoy the goodness that is life. Horndow, I'm confused. Why they do not want to say mini cons are coming? Because they don't want to spoil it. They don't want to spoil it. That's why. They look, these live streams are important to them because there's YouTube algorithms that they have to take advantage of too. Like people wonder like, oh, like if they just showed the toys earlier, then like, it wouldn't ruin the spoilers. Yeah, but they want people to tune into the live streams. There's money to be made. There's monetization that happens with that too. YouTube and Hasbro also make money. They're partners just as much as anyone else. So they want to save those surprises for future live streams. And it's always fun. You don't look if you didn't know all the stuff that was spoiled in the last live stream, it would be an amazing live stream because everything would be, oh my God, brand new reveal, brand new reveal, brand new reveal, you know? So like every live stream is amazing if the stuff isn't spoiled. Because then it's like, so many times people are like, oh, like the last live stream wasn't that good. We knew about 6 of the 8 items. But those 2 items that we did not know about, oh my God, so cool. So it's something where they want to have surprises for us. And rightfully so. If you worked on something and you're excited about it, I mean, I'm always looking at my TFCon exclusive that's coming up in July here. I'm literally holding it in my hand off camera, but you're not going to see it yet. You're going to see it in July. Yeah, in July, I'll probably release the commercial to tease for it. But, when you work on something and you're proud of it and you're excited about it, you want to be the first one to go, here it is, check it out, and then tell the story, not someone stealing it and going, here it is. I'm ignorant. I don't know anything about Transformers, but I have a YouTube channel and I'm going to tell you about it, so you don't want to be that guy, you know? So it's something where, I understand why they hold back. They want to make sure that every live stream that they do is a big live stream. And we're getting like one a month now, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good track record, you know? Michael oh, let me read some of these. Andy Davis, another fantastic live stream. Good night, bot people. Good night, Andy. Andy, take care. Horndow's saying that they're coming is not the same as spoiling the figures themselves. Well, I think they want to surprise you. They want to go, and our next reveal is a 2-pack of Sparkplug and Jolt mini cons. Oh, snap. Oh, snap, son. Michael Koo, Proto, as the others have stated, great live stream. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for coming by. And thank you, everyone, with all the positive vibes and all the super chats and everything. It's always great. Oh, Larry, you're here too. When did you get in here? Didn't see you before. Everything gets lost in the chat. What's up, Larry? Damn, didn't even see you come in. When did you come in? Did you come in just now? Um, but yeah, guys, that's it more or less. We're past the 2-hour mark now. Again, thank you for all the love and support. If you want to also continue to be entertained, go check out the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. He did a live stream yesterday. You could go check that out. Go check out the long forms on that one. If you've chewed up all of that stuff, go check out our own content here on the channel. Once again, if you want to support this podcast and all the hard work we do, again, hit that Patreon button. Come join Patreon. That's usually the best way to do it. If Patreon isn't your thing, then we have the join button from YouTube. You could join there too and be one of the beautiful green names on the side there, like Lizard X, Horned Owl, Michael Koo, Andy Davis, and anyone else if they pop up. I'm just trying to see who's still here. But yeah, all the others, all the cool dudes. So thanks again, everyone. Thanks again for the love and support. And like I always say, enjoy life. Enjoy life. Don't be negative like social media is and Twitter and all that stupidity. Enjoy life. Look how I was talking about today. I went out with the wife. We went out. We had nice food. We went toy hunting. We got some cool comic books, cool action figures, and then we hung out all together, all of us, and we talked about it and we just enjoy life. Then we're going to stop. We're all going to go our separate ways after now. Some of you are going to go listen to a new podcast. Some of you are going to go read a comic book. Some of us are going to go play some video games and then have some japchae because that's where it's at. But at the end of the day, life is amazing and try not to be all, negative about it. The internet is fueled by negativity and it's stupid because those are stupid people that you don't need in your life. Take care, everyone.